I'm going to be taking you through some digital doodles. So basically what you need to have done so far is have an image of a doodle that you've scanned in. Now you can scan this in with your machine to USB, or you can use your external scanner. Did this end? Did this end? Okay, we're having just a few glitches today with Facebook. Oh. Okay, and so to import an image, you can use your place image tool, and you will navigate to it your usual way. And you can see I've already saved my image here. So just for now, let's get back at that. And for this stream, you won't need the character dialog box, but you will need your layers. So I'm going to zoom in, and you can see already that I have locked my image layer and set its opacity to just under 50%. What?
How much I hope we aren't doing that this afternoon.
What, the entire doodle? Yeah. If you want to learn about how to do this doodle in the background, if you go on to Barbara's live stream, I think it was halfway through last week.
Towards the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did it over 2 days, wasn't it, that one? I think. But yes, yeah, that's one from Barbara's stream that we've bought in.
But it could be any doodle, can't it?
Any doodle, any doodle. So I'm going to talk about it nice and loosely in terms of any doodle. Okay. So first of all, as is natural when you're drawing, a hand, or certainly my hand, always has a bit of a shake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all set myself some guides. You can be nice and zoomed in for this. And you'll be amazed the difference this makes just by...
Yes, it is one of Barbara's. We did it, it wasn't last week, was it? The week before?
What, this one?
Yeah.
I can't remember, that's really bad. The weeks are just blurring.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, but yes, we did, it was one of Barbara's that we did.
Yeah. They're all shared here on the group as well, so I'm just going to quickly... And it's when you're doing this you start to see, well, actually, I went a bit wrong there.
Oh, there's no right or wrong, it's a doodle. Trish says hi.
Hi Trish. So, I'm literally just going around my letters roughly. And the reason I'm doing this is in a minute I'm going to do a little bit of adjustment of my actual layout. And that's one of the joys of doing it this way, is that we can actually go back into it and go, oh right, okay, I need that to line up there, so it needs to move a bit. And so on and so forth. And that's supposed to be a little bit straighter than that. So remember, what I'm doing right now is just setting myself up a guide. You can see there just how much I was out. And at this point it doesn't even matter if you're missing big bits of curve, because we can go back and we can just alter it. Okay, so let's sort out my V, because this one goes right round this way, and this one's going to come in more like so. And you can see here that we've got a bit of a weird thing going on, so we can just lift that up slightly. So at this point, the colour that we're using isn't really important. Next I'm going to take an oval, do it no fill, don't forget to add your stroke. So I just did a alt and drag there just to duplicate an oval. Just saves me changing tool. And I'm going to pinch my E, because it has a similar platform. I'm going to bring it over around. Take out those nodes there, and that one, and let's drag this one back. Again, bring that point there, bring it smooth, and let's just zoom in a bit so I can get hold of that handle. Now in Illustrator, when you're doing this, you can actually set a shape to be a guide. But when we're doing this in Affinity, we can just colour our shape a different colour. So I just want to bring this O up, because if you're going to do it different heights, you've got to make it either obviously different heights or you need to match. And given the other three characters match, I want to try and make that one match. It's also a good opportunity to adjust any spacing. If you find that your characters are slightly skewed as well, we can use transform down the bottom to adjust our skew. I want to go the other way. Not quite so much. That's better. And we can do the same over here. So -3. Oh. There's the other trick. So with your O, I'm just going to subtract it so that we actually have an O. That's when it's doing it to centre, it's not always the best. Okay. So far you should have your kind of skeleton of your design. So whether that's your word or whatever, you want to do something where you actually set up a structure. Okay. So we're going to take these elements, we're going to group them, call it guide. And we'll change the stroke to blue. Might even make it even more light blue, more guide coloured. And we're going to lock it. Okay. So if we put our drawing back in underneath, you can see how much things have moved. Okay, so your owl's now taller.
Maybe your screen, Trish, ours doesn't seem to be blurring this end.
Yeah, if you're getting pixelation, it's down to the connection, because this just literally takes the display and pushes it back out there.
Mind you, I had that when I was in the front room earlier. It was fine on the phone, but on the Big Mac it was.
Okay. I'll try and get it as big as possible then, so you can hopefully see it. So if you look at the O, for instance, compared to where it was on our drawing. Okay. So I'm going to start a new layer, and I'm going to call it Digi Stamp. Okay. Now when we're designing for Digi Stamps, we can get away with far more than. What was that noise?
Sorry. Yeah. Hi Sarah. First of all, Sarah just joined.
Hi Sarah.
Sadly not getting notifications until 5 minutes into the streaming.
Oh. That's a bit annoying. I mean, we do try and wait until we get a notification our end to say that it's live. But that's a bit annoying if it's not pushing it all out at the same time to everyone.
Carol has our book. It arrived in the post today.
Oh, cool. That's not fair. This happened with the last one though, didn't it? We were always...
We're behind. Yeah, we haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah, we didn't have our first book until like 2 weeks after everybody else has had theirs. And everybody's like, "Oh, the book's amazing! The book's amazing!" It's like, that's nice. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know.
Carol said her notifications are late too.
Hmm.
I don't know that one.
Don't know what else we could do with that.
Perhaps we'll have to start it a couple of minutes early, just leave it on the opening screen.
Yeah, we'll leave it on the stream starting soon then for a bit longer. If that's okay with everyone.
Start it a couple of minutes earlier, and then hopefully then you won't be quite so late when it comes up on your screen notifying.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments if that's a better option for everyone. Okay, so with Digistamps, as I was saying, you can get away with a bit more, so I'm going to use the brush tool. I'm going to shrink that brush, it's a bit big. Don't need it quite that big. And
You're not a pain, Sarah.
I'm going to go to my Cmyk sliders. So if you go into colour, so I've just clicked up here, I'm going to Cmyk. So these are the colours that you would have when you actually print. So what you want to do is you want to set your black to 100, and then your cyan, magenta and yellow all go to 60, and that's what's known as a printer's black. So if you just do 100 black, believe it or not, it doesn't actually print black. It's like black that's been out in the sun for a couple of months. So we always boost with the cyan, magenta and yellow. And it's the same if you do the laser foiling on a colour printer, you should use these figures. Okay. Any questions so far? Am I going too fast? It's always really hard to judge pacing. So with the controller, I'm going to set to pressure because I'm using a graphics tablet. I'm going to turn my stabilizer on as well. And the stabilizer basically smooths out anything I do. Okay. So if you're not happy with anything to do with your brush, you can always change your brush and we can go into funky things. You can change the cap and so on and so forth. Now with Digi stamps, you want to remember that what you see is what you'll get. It's not like when you're doing an SVG. So we can go and do much finer lines. You alright?
Start to rain.
It's going to go in here and we're going to do wee. And you'll see it actually goes around and actually goes and smooths off what you do after. But at the same point, if we decide that we're not happy with something, we still have our nodes that we can go back to, which is the difference between doing brush in something like Illustrator or Designer as opposed to taking it into Photoshop.
Sorry, how did you get on to Digistamps?
Okay, so Digistamps are basically any image that you print in the 160-60-60 mixture. So Digistamps you can print just using your normal home printer. And I've been designing them for longer than I care to remember. And just so the benefit doing it with pressure is we can actually start to use the pressure in our tablet to actually start building our curves. And at this point I'm not worrying about the ends of my lines. You want to spend more time getting the actual line itself flowing right.
I was just trying.
Hi Mum. So with your veins you can actually start nice and light and then press heavier as you get back towards the centre.
Can you do that just on the PC? Is it how to do it? Yes. Yeah, when Natalie says she's working on a tablet, she means it's a graphics tablet rather than
Yeah. Would it help if you could see what I'm doing on the tablet? Just put a yes please in the comments and I'll make him do his cameraman bit. I was going to suggest you just using the webcam.
Oh, okay, just tilt it in the right way.
Yeah. So I'm just going to pop in another circle. Just going to convert that to curves because I want to get to these actual individual nodes and just.
Webcam's not showing.
You've probably just got it hidden.
No, it should be on.
Yeah, it's probably turned off in the settings. So we have a little bit of foreshortening going on here. Hopefully the book looks good, Carol. I'm sure, you know, my mum would tell you it took a lot to get it to go out through the door. Because I'm paranoid about these things. But yes, going back to what Ian was saying, you only need the graphics tablet to be able to do the weight variation, but you can actually fake it. So if I take just the pen tool and do a line, and you can do this in any of the vector software usually. If we go into pressure, or its line width on Illustrator, you can see that we have a little slider here, and as I'm doing that you can see that the line is getting thicker and thinner. But if we take a point in the middle, we can actually fatten up the middle section. If we then drag that back here, we can start to actually vary our stroke. We could put another one up here, for instance, and thicken up the other end. And we can even put another, try and get middle. There we go. And we can do a little thin section in the middle. Right down to 0. So you don't have to have a graphics tablet, you can fake it until you can get one.
They're not a cheap investment, are they, usually?
The wines aren't too bad, wine, however you're supposed to pronounce it, in terms of startup cost. But I certainly wouldn't recommend a beginner to go and get, say, a Wacom or something like that. As much as I love my Wacom.
Okay, so then I had a quick skim, but I can't do any more of my kitchen until the tile cutter comes Tuesday, so she's got time to relax and look through both books over the weekend. And she's impressed with what you can do in Affinity.
Well, hopefully what I'd like to do next week, and hopefully we can set it up, is actually do a side by side with Affinity and Illustrator, so you can see the difference between the two. But that's quite a setup I'm going to need for that, so that might be just a one stream day, I think. So we can see here that because we've put our pressure on our line, it's remembered it for the next shape that we draw. So our circle now has the same kind of effect applied to it. But then when we come back to our brush tool, it will totally ignore that and just pays attention to what you do actually on your tablet. I'm just going to move that there. So the other advantage of using this tool is if we get to a certain point we go, okay, so I've got this Digi stamp, but what I'd really like is for my Scan and Cut to draw it. We can still send it to draw on our Scan and Cut. It just won't have the line width differences.
Could you also send it to cut, so if you wanted it to?
Oh yeah. Cut, draw, whichever. Obviously with something like this you won't want to send it to cut, because otherwise you'd end up with a load of little pieces. But
yeah, if you did like an outside.
Oh yeah, if you do like an offset.
An offset on it, so it did just around the outside. Your webcam's working now.
Okay. Do you want to try and see if you can do a quick view of the tablet? Might need a bit of a light over here, it's a bit dark.
Light might be interesting.
Excuse the dings. It's probably telling me that I'm live. Just use your phone, it's easier.
No, it's not.
Well, my phone then. You can just turn it on in this on the remote then.
What's that up in that section?
You can just add it in.
You can't add it in on that. I'll get that working. I'll get it right.
You reckon? Okay, go on then. Surprise me.
You're cheeky, you know. You need a bit of light there.
There we go. That's what I need. A bit. Oh, flashy.
Just turn it right up. It won't be flashy.
Thank you.
There's a bit of light on that. And then, excuse me, folks.
oval slightly twisted. So. Are you having fun there, dear?
They can see your hand. You can see more of you than you can actually see.
Okay.
You have to see you, little face.
Okay. Okay, so let's say you want to add in a little bit of shading. Just because I don't know if I sit here and do all this, it's going to be far past 4 o'clock. What we can actually do is we can actually set up, oh, excuse me, a shape to do the shading with. So if I go back in here and around here and eventually sort of around there. If we go to our fill tool, we can go to linear, and we can set up a blend. Then when we get rid of the stroke, and we can send it backwards. There we go. So then you can actually start to build in your shading. Okay. But bear in mind that when you start shading, whatever you shade will not be able to be sent to your scan and cut. So I'd always recommend keeping your shading in like a separate layer, so you leave yourself with as many options as possible. Any questions?
I don't think so. I think I've missed any.
Okay. In which case I'll carry on round until I have some questions. And tweak just a few bits here. Now remember what I always say about nodes, you want to keep your nodes to a minimum. That's no different whether you're doing for Digi stamps or if you're doing a vector illustration, which I will start to cover probably a couple of weeks time until we get to that.
We have to at the end of May, so plenty of time to...
Yeah, plenty of time.
Still in April at the moment.
Because Affinity does some really cool techniques with not just using with vectors, but also it can do pixels, which Illustrator doesn't really do at the minute. So we can actually start to colour our digital stamps actually in Affinity. So what I will do at some point is I'll actually bring this back in and I'll show you how to colour it as well. And the cool thing about colouring in Affinity is if you don't like the colours, or if you need to make it for a slightly different occasion, you can just go back in and recolour it really easily. So if you haven't done so already, get yourself a doodle and we can start to have a bit of a doodle that we can actually play with and do some different techniques with going forward. I also want to start showing you how you can actually start to build using symbols as well, because that's a really essential skill when you want to start doing things like frames and layers. Or anything that repeats really. So if you want to do a border, just get rid of that fill. Put a stroke on. Gone for a slightly bolder one for this because it was dark to start with. And if you go to swatches, you can flick them around so it's nice and easy to just do a solid shape too. So, it's good. Ooh, laggy. Let's try and, yeah. Oh, that made it work hard. Oh, it's not like me now. Okay, woo, escape. Thank you. Don't know if you can hear that, but it now sounds like a small airplane taking off. Let's try that one again, shall we? How slow can you go? I'll behave. Come on. I'm back down already. Ah! Well, it asked you to do the same push he was already doing. And it's like, no, I'm going to throw a hissy fit. Yeah, definitely going to throw a hissy fit. It's not on. But you're packing in now. You're not big, you're not clever.
Oh, that's a Mac Mini.
Oh, come on. It's unreal. Ah!
Have you saved recently?
Just in case I'll do a save as.
Gareth says try drawing a bottom pedal, see if you confuse it.
It probably won't look much better. Oh, hang on. Oh, hey!
There you go, just need to confuse him.
bit of extra detail that I'd had on my original. Whee. How it's going to behave. Yay!
Trish said, "Please forgive my ignorance, but once this is complete, is it to cut out or print?"
This one is to print. So anything where your line width is changing, so if you look here, you would want to print it in the first instance. You can get the scan and cut to draw it, but you'll lose a lot of your line work unless you do expand to stroke, which I'll show you in a minute as well. Okay, so if I zoom out, and I'm just gonna, oh, I missed a petal. Hang on, petal. Let's just, whoa, that's a really dodgy petal. Yeah, man. Making it work hard again. Oh. I'm not even doing that. Hands-free drawing.
It's still going, is it?
Yeah, it's still going down the screen, and I was like, not even there. Okay, you can just. Will you stop it? Sometimes it's just easy to just go, okay, you carry on, you do whatever you want to. So, if you got to that point and you're like, I really like the line weight, but I would really like my scan and cut to draw that outline.
That judging your camera. Even though I've done only done the first file of making the tags, I come up with some good ideas. Confusion always works.
Okay, if you then go to expand stroke, and I'll show you what that does instead. So if we then put this onto our outline, and I'm going to make my stroke thinner so you can see this nice and clearly, you'll see what it actually does. It actually traces around the outside of the stroke. Okay, so when that draws, what that will actually do is it will go around the outside line rather than going up through the middle. So that is how you would then fake your line weight. So I'm just going to step backwards. Back again. There we go.
Seems to have calmed a little.
Don't jinx it. Especially after your stream this morning. Well, what should have been your stream this morning?
You took over.
Yeah, I like that. I got told off for taking over, and it's like, but you were giving me the look that said help. So, are there any other questions? Or
No, not yet.
are people just fascinated just watching? Getting nice and chilled?
The fascination is watching, I think. I don't know if people are trying to join in at the same time or if they're... Nobody said if they're actually doodling along with you.
I do hope some of you are. But if not, you're always welcome to do it after the stream and you can catch up. So remember what I said about keeping your handles even. I'm just going to tuck that back in there.
So she's just watching at the moment. So.
Okay. That's understandable. Carol's probably worn out after doing her tiling. No, I would be. Sounds far too energetic.
We've got this time on our hands, haven't we? So it's just... What else can
Mind
we do?
you, I want to do my bathroom, don't I? So I'm fine one to talk, really. So sometimes it's easier to zoom back out to be able to get you.
Yes, so it is fascinating. So once drawn and printed.
Just have a look at that, Ian. I definitely did not do that with my tablet.
So did you hear what I was saying about Trish?
Go on.
I said it is fascinating. So once drawn and printed. Is there a question on that? Is that what's next, or?
Yeah, so once you've drawn it and you've printed it, you can treat it as any other stamp, really. So you can still colour it. In terms of what to colour it with, if you are going to use something like watercolour or any sort of wet medium, you want to go for a laser print. The only one I wouldn't advise using laser for is alcohol markers, because it actually melts the toner.
Okay, I was just ready for another jacuzzi apparently.
Oh, that would be nice. Oh.
I don't think we get it in.
No, we definitely wouldn't get it in, but I'm missing swimming so much. Because usually, that's like one of my ways of pain management, that, isn't it? Just missing it so much, just being able to just get in the water. Come on.
Is it off again?
Yeah. Almost.
Just at that, thank you. Marshmallow head today.
Yeah, I think it's a day for it, because...
Yeah, both got headaches, haven't we?
Yeah. Well, I think my blood pressure might be up, but... not a lot I can do about that, really.
Carol says it's great. A nice jacuzzi and a glass of wine does the world good.
Oh. Oh.
Now you're just making her jealous. She just wants to...
Yeah. They turn up with me on the doorstep in my swimming cotty going, please. Pretty please.
You bring the bottle of wine in, Cmyk.
Prosecco. Come on. Dee. Doo. So you can start to see how you build up your design. Another thing to make sure that you do throughout your design is vary not only the line weight in terms of the actual individual shape, but also using a variety of thickness and thinness of lines. And what are you laughing at over there?
Carol, she'll let you in if you provide the Prosecco.
Oh yeah. That's a given, isn't it?
Yeah. You say frequently, isn't it?
Yeah, especially if it's playing up like this. So that's no good point actually. So when I'm saving the actual file, I'm saving in Affinity's native format. If I was going to then put this Digistamp to actually buy, you would then export it to a JPEG or a PNG. We did do TIFFs, didn't we? Once upon a time. And the only problem with TIFFs is they are quite memory hogging. So in terms of hosting them, they're a bit of a nightmare. So if you get to any significant number, you soon run out of space. PNG by far is the best image format there is though. Lossless compression, whereas if you do it with JPEG you do lose quality. Anybody that tells you otherwise is a nincompoop. That's okay. I said on another group earlier in the week, it's all very well having free advice, but the advice has to be right in the first place. That was insulting.
No, that's a good point though, isn't it? Yeah, people giving out. If they're giving out advice and it's not right, then yeah, it's not good advice, is it?
I don't know what's going on with some of the groups recently. I mean, the behaviour is just, wow, yeah. Have you noticed that on the different groups?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really pay attention to them. What's a habit, I think. I don't. You know, I like that. It just goes over my head.
Yeah. Don't ever worry that you've upset Ian. It takes a lot to upset him.
When you think you have, you probably haven't.
I'm a lot more fiery. I'm an Aries. You're quite chilled, aren't you? By comparison.
Mm. Can you do the same sort of thing with Procreate, because I don't have a graphics template? Or can we do the same sort of thing with Procreate?
Yes, you can do exactly the same sort of thing. So if you've got a Apple Pencil, or there's a Wacom one that works on it in place of a Apple Pencil, and somebody else does one as well, and I can't think who it is. That's really bad. For your iPad, yeah, you can just as easily do it in Procreate, and you can even, I believe, somebody tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm believe you can even do SVGs in Procreate, so you can take your drawings and that and put it on your scan and cut.
It's Procreate on the iPad?
Yeah.
Rather than on PC?
Yeah.
Okay. Or laptop, or laptop. Sorry, that's what I was just... Trace says, cool, I shall have to give it a go.
If you go on Creative Market, Tracy, they do a load of Procreate brushes and other things for you to play with, and they do 6 free files a week, and so far I've been with them 3 weeks, and each week there's been at least one Procreate item in there. So it's definitely worth having a look at that one.
Is that a .com or is it a .co.uk?
I don't know, but I did put a link out on the group. But I can always just pop it up again if people are interested.
Just come up to your house, sweetie.
Okay.
And Trace says yes, she's seen that. She loves them. And they're so helpful.
We looked at getting Procreate, didn't we? And
For the iPad?
yeah. But I got design for the iPad, hadn't I? So
Yes, you've designed for the iPad as well, yes. I might have a look at Procreate for you again, just to see.
yeah. I've actually got more into designer for the iPad than I had done before at the moment. So I'm just going to do this silhouette. So to start with, I'm just going to build it out of basic shapes.
Is it available on Mac as well? Procreate.
Don't think it is.
Oh.
Don't think it is. That's made it a thing.
Yeah, Finish is the same. So it's a nice Procreate because you only have to buy it once. And then many others. That is cool. Yeah, Finish is the same.
Yeah, Affinity is exactly the same as that. And I think I might have crashed my computer. Oh, no, it's just gone a bit weird. Okay.
It's only for iPads and iPhones, I believe. Okay.
Come on. What on earth is it trying to do? Oh dear.
plane you up again, dear?
Yeah, there you go. It can have a little beak. Having a big long one.
It's supposed to be a little birdie, isn't it?
Yeah. He's a little birdie. So I'm just going to expand the strokes just so I can merge that into my silhouette. There we go. And little birdie. And if I'm really good, I can take him down here. Flop him. Rotate him slightly.
Jojo said so cute.
There we go. 2 little birdies.
Technically you could flip it so they're facing each other.
They are.
Yeah. Well, I can't see that because you're tiny on my iPhone.
They need bigger beaks. Don't appreciate doing a bigger beak, so. Any questions? So your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to now go do a doodle. It doesn't have to be a very complicated one. And let's see what you come up with. So it doesn't have to be a complicated doodle. It's just something that we can play with going forward. Okay, probably simpler the better, isn't it?
Mm.
So if you just want to do a little flower with a little leaf, that is absolutely fine. So for today, we just want to see you play with your line width, okay? And pop it up on the group.
Is that you done for today?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're going to stop by for a bit?
I'm going to stop and then...
Oh, you got a sad face, I think, because you're stopping.
Oh! Well, I can keep going for another half an hour, but after that, then I don't want to cross with Pete.
Helps us help, missus.
So if all you want to do is just literally do... Let's go down here a bit. All you want to do is just literally do a... Whoop. Whee. I'll make that bigger in a minute. Let's undo that. So, do nice petal. Oh, it's going to start again now, just because somebody said they're going to stop.
Yeah. Let them play.
Yeah. I'm just... Yeah. Give up now before it goes out through the window.
Yeah.
But something nice, simple, but concentrate on your line width. So whether you fake it with the pressure control, or if you do have a graphics tablet and you want to actually practice the weight change in your hand, the choice is yours.
We're back at 6 tonight, aren't we?
We're back at 6, but you don't have to have your doodle done for then.
Yeah, because we're doing at 6 o'clock, we're doing a retake on one of our videos that Twitch deleted.
And it's infinite wisdom.
Yes. So we're doing the watercolour
Die cutting.
which we've done a bit of prep for, so hopefully it won't be too long on. Pete's back at 4 o'clock with his card making.
Yeah.
I don't think he's on at 8 tonight, is he?
I'm not sure.
No.
If you want to join in with the 6 o'clock hour, what you will need is some watercolour card and a detail die, and run that through your die cutting machine with the embossing sandwich. So we're not actually going to cut it to start with. Okay. Any other questions before we go?
What is your Twitch name? So Twitch we are...
Nat Ballard.
Nat Ballard.
No space.
NATBALLARD. All one word. For Twitch.
Yeah. And we did say that we were going to try and do a Twitch stream over the weekend, didn't
We
we?
did. We were going to try and do one over the weekend, yes.
Because I want to see if we can actually manage, once we've done one, to actually get it back down and put it onto YouTube. But we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
We need to catch up with putting the ones off here onto YouTube as well.
Just as cool. You okay to finish?
Yeah, I think so. So we'll say bye for now.
I will be wallowing at 6, so I'll have to catch up. Okay?
Okay.
And we'll hopefully see you all soon.
And we'll pop a folder up on the group for your doodles. Okay, bye!